Hey guys, this video is sponsored by QV, a Nintendo Switch action-adventure upcoming title. QV is the perfect game for anime and puzzle lovers. QV features an isometric and bright world full of cuteness. Explore the mysterious ancient ruins with QV, an adorable protagonist, and experience the adventure across dimensions with her power to draw portals and walk on water. You also meet colorful companions such as the proud Varin the Penguin and a nameless, cold, and charming girl that strongly resembles QV in some way. The ancient ruins has many puzzles and dangers stored for QB. Use your wisdom and help QB have a safe journey through traps, obstacles, and an army of violent penguins. Somewhere in the ruins exists a key to save the collapsing world. It's up to you to save the universe, full of diverse and colorful worlds. Warp to anywhere and even walk on water and lava with QB's magic brush. All kinds of gamers, including beginners and challenge lovers, can enjoy QV, as it has a total of 4 difficulties. Pre-orders, which are 20% off by the way, begin on November 19th for North America, and even a week sooner than that on November 12th if you're from Europe, Australia, or Japan. This game releases on Thursday, November 26th. Find out more at the official QV Twitter, which is linked in the YouTube description below, or it's at QV_news. Hi guys, it's me, it's King. Before I start this video, I want to mention I actually have a tournament this weekend. If you want to check out smash.gg/FPSonline, which will be in the YouTube description below. That is my once a month tournament featuring Ultimate, Melee, Kirby Fighters, Smash Remix, and Rivals. And I'm also going to have these once per month, so definitely check the YouTube description real quick, because most likely this video will be out in time, so you'll be able to see my upcoming event this weekend. Yay! What I want to talk about in this video is extremely nerdy Steve stuff. So I went over each stage, his digging speed, frame data, theory craft, and I got a lot of information and, statistics, just like what I do. And now I'm going to give it to you in a way that's actually useful, because what's the point of stats if you're not going to, get actual useful conclusions and data off it? I'm going to teach you how to get really fast diamonds, and when to use different strategies and why certain stages could be good or bad. I'm just going to throw a lot of info at you, so if you like Steve at all, whether you're fighting against him or using him yourself, this should be pretty useful to learn. Remember when Sakurai talked about how the Elite Smash stages were a little different? Like how it would always be consistent, like it'll be in a set pattern. Well, actually, it's always in a set pattern. He wasn't exactly explaining it perfectly. It's always a set pattern, but there's different stages that have different groups. There's like 3 or 4 different groups or so. One group is the FD/Battlefield/Small Battlefield group. When you're on that group, your 18th item is gold, your 30th item is diamonds, and then, there's a whole list of when iron, gold, other things happen. And then diamond is obviously extremely important and one of the main things to get. So your 60th item after that is diamond, and that's something I want to mention. So it goes 30, 60, 90, and I thought at first, I was like, okay, I guess this is how it's always going to be. But I was wrong. So I actually tested all the other stages, and before I thought it would just be important to check where the first diamond is, because after you get your first diamond, that's like even if you lose your stock, you can just hold it to the next stock. It's like a really big benchmark. It's like when you get through a video game and you get to a checkpoint, it's like, wow, now I think life's going to be a lot easier from this moment onwards. It's kind of like one of those things. But I actually now think that like the second diamond is more important. So there's something huge I want to actually talk about. PS2, Kalos, Yoshi's Story, Town and City, and Smashville, those 5 stages, which is more than half of the starters. So you have the same dig speed on FD Battlefield, Small Battlefield as you do on Smashville Town, right? And diamond is the 20th item on Smashville Town, 30th item on FD Battlefield. So, it gives Town, Smashville, small advantage. But then when you look at the second diamond, it's the 60th item on FD, Battlefield, Small Battlefield. It's the 50th item on Smashville and Town. And even though Yoshi's Story on the ground, not the platforms, Yoshi's Story, Kalos, main stage, not the sides, and all of PS2 is another group, you actually get the first diamond on the same speed, and the second diamond is only like 8 frames sooner. So basically what I'm saying is the original stages, the Elite Smash stages, FD Battlefield, Small Battlefield, actually are really bad for Steve when he's trying to get the second diamond, because it takes 2 extra seconds of mining in order to get the second diamond there. So when I'm like, for example, when I'm like playing Steve on Elite Smash, and you're just like, you're doing, you know, you're always on those 3 stages when you're not in a tournament. You're always on these 3 stages because that's all that's on the 1v1 tourney mode. That's all that's on Elite Smash and so on. The strategy of trying to get a second diamond is actually not nearly as effective, but trying to get a second diamond is super, super good on the other 5 stages. I've done a lot of frame testing to like get everything down to the exact frame. I'm going to put more info, if you want the really nerdy stuff, into the YouTube description so that you can, you know, check all the little details. But the basic conclusion is 2 seconds fast for second diamond. Now, you might be asking, well, why do you need a second diamond anyway? Well, my answer to you is that getting a second diamond, you know, during one of Steve's first 2 stocks can be immensely useful because it helps him later in the game, because then he will be able to, let's say Steve has a small lead, right? And then he's at like 140. You don't want to make the diamond and just die, right? Because if you make the diamond and die, I mean, you can gamble it all, but then what if that gamble doesn't work out and you die? Now you're starting with wood, now they're at mid% last stock. What if you fail to kill them? Now they have rage and they make a rage comeback for no reason. Or you can just accept that you're going to die, get that second diamond. Now you have a lead and a diamond weapon. So you have a lead in percent and a move that's going to kill them before they can get rage. You might spawn and only a few hits from death. And there's almost no chance for rage to come back because you have diamond. That scenario, in my experience, is much more consistent. So basically, getting a second diamond is really useful. What I'm saying is Steve actually, in terms of the strategy of getting 2 diamonds in a stock, he's actually very nerfed on FD Battlefield and Small Battlefield. And I think that that's something that's extremely overlooked. I think almost nobody knows about this. In fact, I didn't even know about this before today. I was just looking at some data. I just like to know the facts and stuff because it helps plan strategies and theory. It helps for theory craft and stuff, you know, good long-term investment. So yeah, I thought that would be very interesting. Also, Lilat is an interesting standalone. I always talked about how great Lilat was for Steve, you know, but it's not quite as great as I thought. Not only do you get less materials, which is not as good for like TNT and stuff, but your 15th item is diamond, which, by the way, I do want to mention something. I should have mentioned this earlier, actually. You get diamond in 6.01 seconds on Lilat. You get diamonds in 6.55 seconds on, you know, the 5 stages that I mentioned, which happens to be on the same frame, actually. I think frame 393. So 6.01 seconds is where you get your first diamond on Lilat. 6.55 seconds is where you get your first diamond on the other 5 stages that I have grouped together. And on the FD Battlefield Small Battlefield, it would be 7.01 seconds, which is already the slowest. But since your wood material actually breaks after the 28th item, that means you're mining the last 2 items at half speed, because mining with your hands is 50% of the speed of mining with wood. It actually, instead of 7.01 seconds, which is already bad, it'd be 7.71 seconds. Back to Lilat. It's not as amazingly great for Steve as I originally thought, because on only that stage, it's like extra slow for the second diamond. It's the 33rd item. It's the 15th item for the first diamond and the 33rd item for the second diamond. However, obviously, that's not of equal importance. Like, getting the first diamond is more important than getting the second diamond, because that scenario is more important and extremely more common. So it's still better for him because it's a lot more consistent, and you get more minecart side Bs. You get a more consistent first diamond per stock. That's obviously still going to be better for him. But it's not as lopsided as I thought. I'm not even sure if it's his best stage anymore. It's definitely not a bad stage. It's definitely a good stage for Steve, but it's not as like, oh my god, OP as I originally thought. So yeah, there's a lot of info that could be useful. Like, you could even like do things like memorize when you get like, when you get gold or iron stuff, if you want to take it a step further. I'm just trying to make it easy by talking about, like, you know, important parts like second diamond stuff. And you could take it further if you're really serious with Steve. Like, oh, I know that I get iron, like 3 items after this weapon, this material or something. Like, you could do that memorizing if you want to like take it to a super deep level. But I think that this discovery is actually pretty good, because it pretty much shows that like 2 seconds, that's not a joke. Like, 2 seconds of mining, that's a lot of mining, and to reduce that, that's really huge. So in my opinion, this is a really important discovery for Steve on a competitive level. And I'm surprised the difference is like so substantial. I thought it'd be like 50 or 58th item or something. I thought it would be closer than that. Like the first time was not that far apart, and the second one was such a big difference. Now, there's something else I want to talk about. You know how TNTs, when you stand on them, it's kind of like Lilat? Well, let me explain something interesting. Like, if you actually place TNT on Lilat and mine on it, it'll function the same as a TNT. Same with the Edge of Kalos. If you Edge of Kalos is basically like Lilat. It's that own group. It's called like Group C or something. So if Lilat is like a Group C, and the TNT and Anvils also counts as a Group C, you could mine on either Edge of Kalos or Lilat, and it will still count in the same group as the TNTs. So let's say I'm mining on Lilat, and then I start mining on a TNT. Let's say I got almost to diamond on Lilat or the Edge of Kalos. And when I start mining on a TNT, I'm gonna get to diamond like almost immediately, or vice versa, because it still counts it as the same group. On the flip side, you don't get the benefit of getting closer to the item. For example, let's say Kalos. The Edge of Kalos, specifically the left and right ledges of Kalos, actually function as like, what I call the Group C, the Lilac group, or TNT group. And then the 90% of the middle of the stage counts as the PS2 group. It doesn't transfer over, so it's better to commit to one or the other if you're just going for diamonds. If you don't care about the diamonds and you're just going for iron, then sure, you can just use that benefit to get quick iron real quick, which is still nice to have that option. But it's not like you can just transfer it over. Like, let's say I get to like the 25th item in the middle of Kalos. If I start on the left side, since it's a separate group, it's gonna like start the process over. So it's just good to understand like how this stuff works, depending on like, oh, is my goal to get iron or is my goal to get diamonds? Or like, it depends on what you value. So one benefit is that TNTs, I thought originally they wouldn't be so good on like FD Battlefield, Small Battlefield, because I explained in prior videos how, for some reason Sakurai coded TNTs on only those 3 stages specifically to count as the same as the ground, which means mining on a TNT you can still get things like dirt, which normally doesn't make sense, but the way the game was coded, those 3 stages, TNTs, Anvils work different. I realized this actually could be useful to like, okay, you throw someone off stage, forward throw or back throw or something, and you start mining, and then you can stand on a TNT, and the TNT down smash trick, when you down smash and hold R to air dodge, that's like a good high level trick. When you want to do that edge guard, you can actually be mining on the TNT, and then at any moment you can do an unreactable stop mining, down smash, air dodge. And since it's unreactable, that means that it's a good mix-up at top level, which means that you might want to be doing that and mining on the TNT just to either get iron on upper stages or to get closer to diamond on that. All right, now I know all the stuff it said is really confusing, but I mean, I did warn you guys this is like a very complicated video. But I figured, there is, a lot of people that want this nerdy stuff. So I tried to explain a lot of it that I could. And there's going to be more info in the YouTube description, but I figured a lot of people wanted to know this nerdy stuff, so I figured let's make a video on it. Well, with that said, thanks for watching the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, the bell. Comment below if you have any thoughts or questions or whatever. Well, with all that said, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.